Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I don't know about you, but lately I've been feeling, well, it's towards the end of the year, and I am about to close up the last quarter. But yet, I feel like there's so many things on my to-do list I haven't gone to, and I need to finish them. So that feeling of overwhelm, not knowing where to begin or where to start, has that been bothering you? I bet it does because it's bothering me. So today I am honored to invite Clara Capano. She is an international speaker and trainer, best-selling author, and executive producer of Working Women's Channel and Living Real TV. Her passion is helping women in business to take control of their time and get clear on their goal without feeling the burnout. She will help you to work smarter, not harder, so that you can create more time, generate more business, and design the life that you love. Without further ado, ladies, please join me with a warm welcome, Clara, to the show.
Hello, hello.
You are like a super powerhouse. You are my model right now. You do
Well,
protection
you're very
coaching.
kind.
Tell us, give us a quick intro about who you are, where you're from.
I'm a California girl born and raised, and I currently reside just outside of Boulder, Colorado. And I spent over 20 years in the real estate industry. And, it was from there that I honed my skills as a coach and a presenter and went through my own bouts of burnout from being a single mom, living on the hamster wheel, trying to do it all. And, finally just got to the moment of clarity that we all get to where, something happens and everything shifted for me. And I just had to make a decision to show up differently and realize that there had to be a way to achieve success without all the burnout, that we were all facing. Cause I just see so many women, just running and not having a solid foundation, not being clear on where they really want to go and working tirelessly and not getting further. So I sort of went on my quest to just help make things more clear for women, help make it easier for them, help them feel not so alone and just, give them a platform for knowing that there is a better way.
Mm-hmm. And you are a perfect example of, what would that perfect ideal life would look like, having a business, running, wearing multiple hats and having a thriving career, not just in public speaking, but also in coaching. And I think one of the things that really caught my attention from what you have just shared was something had happened. What was that something that made you realize that, I'm having a burnout?
Yeah. So, for me, we all have that wake up call. And I actually had a few different episodes of burnout. One of the ones that I had was in my mid 20s, and I was working 14, 16-hour days, but I thought that's what I was supposed to do because after all, if you want success, you got to work hard. And so I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I was having ulcers. I wasn't paying, attention to, the fact that I was drinking too much and, doing all of these things because I just was like, I'm on the path to success. And I remember driving into work and just thinking to myself, I'm so exhausted. And if I could only just get into an accident that would maybe just land me in the hospital for just like 2 days, nothing too serious. I just needed a break where nobody would bother me. And I'm like, yeah, that should have been a big sign that there was some burnout. But I think what I did is what most of us do, where they just dust themselves off and say, it's just a day. We go and we pound down some ice cream and maybe some wine, and we get back up and we just jump back on the hamster wheel. And that's what I did. So I didn't really address things. I just sort of shoved it down and been like, we'll deal with this all later. There'll be time to deal with all of this. And I just went on my merry way. I then got married and had a child. And my real moment came when I was about 37 years old. And at the time, I was a single mom now. I was working my full-time job. I was building my coaching business. I was going to school and getting my master's degree. And I had a 3-year-old son. And Nicholas came to me one night and just wanted to show me a picture that he had done in school. And I was essentially too busy to even look at that picture. And I remember him saying to me, Mommy, please pay attention to me. And here it was that moment where I was like, what am I doing? Everything I was doing was for him, was to create this life so I could be the best mom, so I could really be at the pinnacle of this success for whatever I thought it would be. And yet I was so far away from it. And the relationship that should have meant the most to me, I was not present. And I wasn't present in any aspect of my life. And so it was right then and there that I had to make a decision. Was this just going to be another moment and I was just going to wake up tomorrow and run in the same program? Or was I really going to change things? And so after my big cry, I kind of got up and I said, no, we've got to change things because this is not the person that I want to be. This is not the role model. This is not the mom. This is not the business owner that I want to be. And so that's where I started to, redefine what success was going to be for me. And I started to, show up as what I call a smart woman and start making higher level decisions for me, for my business, and really creating the path for success that I wanted.
Mhm. I think what's really interesting is that a lot of people, when they have a busy schedule, and they have that idea of wanting to take a break, they think about, oh, where do I want to go on vacation? But for you, it sounds like in order to take a break, maybe something needs to happen to me so I can actually be in a hospital somewhere and no one will bother me.
Yeah. And I think, whether it's, we are just wanting to hide under the covers, whether we're looking at our loved ones and like we're just annoyed by them, I think we need to understand that, we have to, recharge ourselves. And one of the things that, some of the mistakes that I made along the way is I didn't take time off. I didn't take a vacation. If I took a vacation, I always had my laptop or my phone. And so I came to the realization that self care and downtime is actually required for success. And in essence, our clients need us to take time off because our clients are paying us and expecting us to show up 100% on our game. And we can't do that unless we recharge our batteries. So I had to start rethinking that self care was not selfish. It was actually the most selfless thing because if I want to serve at the highest level possible, I have to be the best version of myself. So now I build in. And again, I'm not building in all of these things, as ancillary stuff. I put in my schedule. The very first thing that goes in my schedule is my self-care. When am I taking time off this week? When am I exercising? Because I have to do that. It is a requirement for success in my business. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's something, doing. I think another mistake I made is I was chasing all aspects of the business. And the truth is funnel it down. Get really clear on who is your target audience. How can you really help them? Because there is enough business. There's enough business for all of us out there, and it's the idea of when you chase two rabbits, you get none. When you chase all these different avenues, I was so afraid to get a niche, because I was like, oh, but what if I miss somebody? You won't miss anybody. And it helps you show up more authentically. It helps you have better connections. And so, just really learning to, again, funnel your time into the right areas, not every area, the right areas.
Mm-hmm. What was it like to start out your business wearing multiple hats? So you were working full time and you were a single mom who take care of a 3-year-old. And so I can imagine your schedule is probably jam packed. So as you're starting out your business, what was it like for you?
It was not great. I'm gonna be honest. You're building a business, and regardless of what business, your first couple years are always going to be the hardest. I was lucky that I was able to use a lot of the money from my real job to build up my savings account. So after about 6 months, I did leave my real job and I dove into my consulting business full time. And it took me about 4 months to not have to take money out of my savings account, but I did build up, 6 to 8 months of a savings account. So that really did help me. So I would really recommend, if you do have the ability to go full force, go full force. If you need to have a part-time job to help you, do that, but really put your full focus in, because it is really hard to switch hats and to switch that focus. And again, you want to be able to show up and be purposeful. I was doing coaching calls over my lunch hours, in between. And again, I don't feel I was doing my best work. It's what I had to do. But again, I did that for about 6 months, and I was able to realize that if I really want this to work, you got to go in. So again, either get a part-time job, get a business loan. Again, you're starting a business, get a business loan, but set yourself up for success.
Yeah. What does it mean to be working smart? Because I think one of the things that you talked about is being a smart woman, right?
Yeah.
So what is a smart woman?
So it's an acronym that I stole from someone else. I don't know where I heard it, but it made sense to me. And so I turned it into, what does it mean to be smart? So the S stands for being strategic. So what does it mean to be strategic? So a lot of times what I do is I think of myself as the CEO. And so every week before my week starts, I game plan my week. I go into my week and say, okay, what does my week need to look like? Where does my focus go? Because I don't want to just show up and just go as things happen. I want to be purposeful. I want to really look at the time that I have, who I need to follow up with. Again, where does my focus and attention need to go so that every day I'm showing up very purposefully and very strategically. The M stands for measuring, because the truth is not everything works. But if you don't measure what you are doing and then the results that those items are bringing you, you're not going to know what's working and what's not working. And from there, you can then tailor your time and your schedule so that you're spending more time in the areas that work for you. So again, knowing, does going to this networking group work for me? Does following this mentor work for me? Am I doing Facebook lives, webinars, being on podcasts? What are the things that are, again, bringing me closer to my goal? And if something's not working for you, then you need to either adjust it or dump it so you can make more room. But you got to know what you're doing and you got to measure the results. The A stands for action. You got to work. You got to put the action in. Nothing is going to happen on its own. But the idea is it's not about doing everything. Again, going back and doing the right things. So identifying for you, what are maybe the 3 to 5 things that you really need to do at a high level? What are the things that are going to be non-negotiable activities? So for me, one of my action steps is my morning routine. My morning routine sets the stage for everything else. So getting up and doing a gratitude practice, getting my mindset ready with some positive self-development, some written affirmations, looking over my schedule for the day before I jump into my emails. So again, by the time I'm getting into work, I have a solid foundation of positivity and a focused mindset. Other things that I do are, handwritten notes, reach out calls, connection calls, virtual coffees. So networking is one of the activities, but again, purposeful networking. So get clear on the activities you need to do to generate the right business for you. R is for what we talked about, rest and recovery. You got to recharge that battery. So think about what brings you joy, because a lot of times people think self-care means I got to go work out, I got to go for a massage. And yes, it can be all of those, but self-care is really anything that brings you joy. So do you like gardening? Do you like listening to music, playing music, doing artwork? Find things that bring you joy and make sure that you have time carved out every week to bring yourself joy. One of the things that brings me joy that I love to do is taking naps. I am an early riser. So by about this time of day, I love taking a nap. It makes me feel good. It energizes me, and I can feel ready to go for the rest of the day. That brings me joy. So you know what? I'm not going to apologize for taking a nap. So again, find these things and make sure you're planting time in your week for that. And then the last one is the T, and that stands for time. How are you investing your time? We are really good at looking at our dollars. And if we invest our dollars here, what is the rate of return? We've got to look at the same thing, because we don't get our time back. Once it's spent, it's spent. So we've got to really start thinking of, if I'm going to be investing my time over in this activity, what am I expecting to get back from it? If I'm going to be expecting my time with these people, what am I going to be getting back from it? And making sure, again, that you're leveraging your time and you're investing it in the right ways. And when you do those things, again, you show up with more purpose, with more focus. You show up with the right action plans. And honestly, when you do those things, it's going to help ward off burnout, because again, you're being very purposeful and strategic in everything you're doing.
I love it. I think your nap spoke to me the most.
They're my favorite. I love my naps. Mm-hmm.
I seriously think that, a nap is so much needed throughout our day. And sometimes it really give us that clarity to what is our next step. So whenever I feel burned out, I usually just take a nap, and you know what? I'll come back to it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great. It's wonderful. I'll be taking one right after we talk.
I think one of the other things that caught my attention is the strategy or strategic, being
Mhm.
strategic in the measuring, in the action, in resting and recovery, and how do you use your time. So that strategy keeps the strategic keeps showing up for me. What are
Mhm.
some of the way for our new coaches and listeners who's starting out their business as a way to strategically show up? What advice do you have?
Okay. So, again, getting clear on your vision. What is your vision? Why are you even really doing this? So, really getting clear there, getting clear on who your target audience is, because you need to then understand how am I going to approach them and bring value to them. So that when you are speaking with people, again, it's funneled into the right avenues and you're speaking their language and helping them with their pain points. Again, being strategic on your schedule. One of the things I know for me, I do better earlier in the day and I do better earlier in the week. So I front load my days. My mornings up until about 1 o'clock are much more stacked and focused. And then my afternoons after nap time can be a little bit more free flowing. I can work on projects, things that don't require as much focus. I also know that by about Thursday, I start to lose energy. So I front load my week. So my later in the week, and a lot of times I take a half day off on Fridays. So again, knowing how you work and working with that. Strategic partners. Who do you need to align yourself with and collaborate with? Because none of us can do this alone. So, who do you need to collaborate with and again, leverage relationships together? So, I think again, it's just going back to you've got to have the mindset of a CEO, because whether you are an organization of one person or multiple people, you are the CEO and you've got to start showing up as the CEO and have that mindset. What is going to be expected of me in running it? Because the truth is, any organization is only as strong as its weakest link. And if you are the weakest link, you got problems. So again, you've got to start thinking, what does the CEO need to do? And sometimes that means also looking at yourself as the employee, because you got to show up. You got to know what it means to show up for work. You got to go to work every day. Doesn't matter if work is in your home office, where you go to work every day.
Mm-hmm. I know you also have a coaching program and you work with clients. What does it feel like? What does it look like to work with?
Yeah. So I prefer to think of myself as more of a strategist, because again, that's again my niche, and thinking
Mhm.
again about how I can help women get clear on achieving success without burnout. So my course is actually an online course, and it is a 1 year course. We're just getting ready to do a relaunch, so it's going to be kicking off in January. And the idea is I give you 6 modules and I walk you through creating your success plan. I don't like to call it a business plan because I bring in aspects of life. So we really go and we walk through what it means to create success for you in the upcoming year. We look at your goals and why they're important. What are they going to mean to you? We get really clear on our target audience and how we're going to bring value to them. We talk about what are the habits, the disciplines, and the skill sets we're going to need, and what are the resources to help us get those together. And then we definitely look at how we're looking at our time, how to make that self-care happen, and then also how do we approach some of the threats that could come up so we can have our plan Bs in place. In addition to that, every month we have group calls and we have different topics each week or each month with guest speakers coming in. So again, we can go deeper. We talk about failure and how to use failure as fuel. We talk about again creating your vision and sharing your vision, how to communicate as a woman in business with those around you to get support. So again, we really just dial it down. So I'm really excited for it. I just think it's going to help so many women, build that community that they need, bring in some accountability, some direction, but also the support, because it's one thing to get the plan. It's a whole nother thing to stay connected and stay on the path. So that's what I want to help women do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more because a lot of time, we take a class or take a courses and
Mhm.
we walk away with the principle, but yet, it's really hard if you don't have someone to support you or holding you
Yeah,
accountable for
exactly.
actually implement them, in action.
Mhm.
So I love what you're doing. Where can people find out more about that course?
They can just go to my website, which is claracapano.com, and under courses, they can see those. They can just reach out to me, through my website. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Again, we're repackaging it, so the price is going to be a little bit lower for the first quarter. So they may want to get in before we do a jump in the second quarter, because it is going to be, again, a year-long program. And I want to be able to really I'm very real. I'm very straightforward, and I'm just here to help people.
Yeah, I know you're straightforward just from the from your Californian attitude. You were born born and raised here, and that's what we don't do BS.
No, we don't. We just cut to it.
Exactly. And I know I was reading your bio, and this would be something that my audience would love to know, because they're trying to get out there, they're trying to get their word out, and you are in the TV production, you're in the production of Working Women's Channel. Can you tell us more about what that entails?
Yeah. So I actually have two shows that are streaming, the Working Women channel, and then just launched Living Real TV. And both of these have been on my life list, but, finding the time. So COVID gave me the luxury of having time to finally put these into play. So the Working Women channel, we are just getting ready to launch season 4. And what I do is I bring women into my home and we share their stories to success. We share, all the trade-offs they've made, the bumps in the road, how they got there. So we have just women from all different backgrounds, really just sharing the message that success is possible, and that no matter what your background is, no matter what obstacles are out there, you can face the challenges and achieve success. Living Real TV is a collaboration I do with my friend Carissa. And what we do is it's real conversations about real life with real women. So we have a topic, and if you can kind of think Oprah meets Ellen meets The View. So we have really serious conversations, but we have a lot of fun doing it. We have a mixologist with us. So we have a signature cocktail. We bring in guest panelists, and we just talk about things from parenting to maintaining relationships, body image, self-care, maintaining habits. We talk about money mindfulness. So just, again, any topics that pertain to women. And again, they can get access to those on my website. Also, they can go to my YouTube channel, which is Moments of Clarity. And then they're also housed on motivationandsuccess.com. But there's some great shows, and I would just, again, love to share those with everyone.
I think you had me a cocktail.
Yes, we put all the recipes on our website, so yeah, you can get them, and they're fabulous.
Yeah, you definitely had it for me for a cocktail. So I'm definitely gonna go to your website and check it out.
Yeah, please do.
So I know as we're wrapping up the 2021, moving forward to 2022. What goals do you have? Like, what would be something that you can share with us in helping our audience to set their goals so that they can be successful in 2022?
So what are some of the things I'm doing to plan for mine? Yeah. The number one thing is you got to put together a written business plan. So again, really sitting down and, going through again, what are your goals? Why are those goals there? Again, really creating the vision for what you want your life to look like and how does this year fit into that? Again, really getting clear on who are you serving and how you're doing that. So, my business plan, it's about 24 pages long, because I really dial into everything, and then thinking about the skill sets I want to work on. Again, who do I need to connect with so that everything that I'm doing is very purposeful.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes.
Clara, what is your definition of being brave?
Definition of being brave is taking a deep breath and trusting the process. And that can be really hard to do because sometimes it's unclear. But when you are really clear on what you want to accomplish and you get clear on your plan, you can step into it and let it go. And sometimes you have to surrender a little bit. But again, you just got to take a deep breath and just go forward, believing in yourself.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't see immediately the outcome or the result, but just trusting the process and just moving forward.
Yeah, definitely.
And remember, smart.
Yeah, be smart.
Strategic, measure, action, rest and recover, and time.
Yes.
And do it intentionally.
Very intentionally. Yes.
Thank you so much, Clara. Tell us again where we can find you.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you for what you're doing, because you're connecting and sharing so many powerful messages that are making all of us stronger. So much gratitude for you and what you are doing. Again, they can go to my website, which is just claracapano.com. They can find me all over social media. If they just search my name, they will be able to find me.
Yay! I know I'm definitely gonna start stalking you for sure on social media and check out all the
Yes.
great things that you're doing, in 2022.
Yeah. Oh, and I do have a free ebook. So if they go to my website, I have a free ebook, and it's called The Art of Saying No. So if they go to my website, they can go ahead and get that downloadable PDF for them and work on some purposeful boundaries as well.
Yeah, the art of saying no. What are some of the stuff that you're saying no to?
Well, I think again, you've got to get clear on, if I say yes to something, what do I have to say no to? And again, are you saying no to the real clients that you should be working on? Are you saying no to your family? Are you saying no to yourself? So it just gives a few strategies on how to be more, again, intentional and purposeful. And sometimes, how do you say no without them hearing no, so that you can maintain your boundaries and stay in your zone of genius?
Love it. And
Mhm.
ladies, you can grab it from her website at www.claracapano.com,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to grab that amazing tool.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Clara, for coming to the
Yeah.
show.
Thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait to watch your upcoming episodes. And thank you again for everything you're doing.
Thank you. I'm going to put you to the backstage so I can wrap
Okay.
this up. All right, ladies, that was another episode of the Live Copy Talk, and you heard it. Ladies, do it intentional, do it purposeful with being a smart woman. Strategic, measure, action, rest and recover, and be intentional and purposeful with your time so that you don't experience that burnout. And if you love to follow her, follow Clara for more information, check out her course, check out her TV production at claracapano.com. You will find more information. And I will see you next week. Same time, same place. You know where to find me. Love you. Bye.